I'm
Right.
just I'm just switching my camera off because I'm on my phone, so I don't want to lose anything because of my phone. So I'm going to switch my camera off if that's okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Right, it's on the hour, and as you know, we kickstart our monthly guest speaker exactly on the hour, and we don't go over the hour. So we're really excited to have William presenting his story to us today. I know that it's going to push William out of his comfort zones a little bit, but I think that's really good. And as you know, we do that quite often around this time of the month. So thank you, William, so much for joining us and for agreeing to come and do your talk and your story and how you became a success and what others can learn from you. And we're super excited to hear from them. Please, can we keep our questions until the end, unless you have a burning question that can't continue, but please make a note and let's ask William some questions at the end. William, it's over to you. Thank you.
Ooh, straight into the frying pan, no like advert beforehand or anything like that. Okay, guys, firstly, Diane, thank you for the invitation to do this this little talk. You have thrown a big spanner in my works, and when I'm finished here, I'm going to go straight back to bed because I haven't slept. So let's thank you also everybody else for jumping onto this talk. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. So let's jump straight in. So I'm going to start off with, as you can you all see my screen? All right. So just want to start off with some inspiring statements. The one that you'll see there on the screen is, and you've probably all seen these before, but they all are important. And if we actually listen to them and take consideration of what they mean, and put them into practice, then they will work out. So the first one there you'll see is, whether you say you can or you can't, you are right either way. It's a very difficult a statement, that, because as we all know, exactly what that says. If we can or we can't, we're right. Because if we say we can't, then we can't. So just a few others that I want to put in here is that when we strive to become better than we are, everything around us will become better too. Energy goes where intention flows. This is one of my favorite ones. The grass is often not greener on the other side, but rather the grass is greener where it's watered. And then lastly, if you want it, work for it. It is only actions that bring results. So don't, I'm thinking about doing this, or I might do that. Just make a decision today, just like Nike, just do it. And then see what comes. You never know. You never know what the world's going to throw at you. So, right. So my story of struggle, hang on, I don't know how to change this thing now. My story of struggle. So I don't want to be a naysayer or harp on my struggles, but we all have struggles. So my story of struggle is probably no different to yours, although we would experience this in different ways and at different points of our lives. The fact that life is challenging and being a business owner these days is a very, very lonely place. There are very few people out there who have your back and who want to see you succeed. They would rather say, "Oh, be careful. Do you really want to do that?" Or see where you're walking, or don't cross that road. There's just negative things in everything. So we face obstacles at every turn: sales stress, financial stress, personal and family stress, and also health stress. And I have not been immune to any of these. So let's start off with a little bit about me. A little bit about me is like a whole page. Okay, I'm married to my very beautiful wife, Tamsin, and together we have 4 children who are doing extremely well at varsity and at school. And I hope that at one day they can be the catalyst that sparks a change in the world. We really try to push them out of their comfort zone to make sure that they step up and they stand out from the crowd. Hello. Okay, together, Tamsin and I own 3 companies. One being Unplugged Brand Exposure. Secondly, we own a fitness franchise, and we also own a sales call center company that operates out of the States and who sell to the top plastic surgeons in America. But believe me when I say this, it was not always like this. We both come from places of pain, both financial pain and both personal pain. So let me go into the beginning. In the year 2000, I was retrenched from my place of employment. And having a new daughter, she was about 3 months old at the time, I had to make a plan to pay these bills, nappies, formula. That shit costs money. So I decided that I wasn't going to go down the soul-destroying route of applying for jobs, thousands of jobs that you apply for, and you never even get a response that your application was received. What I did know was that I had an ace up my sleeve, and not many people can do or are willing to do what I do. I know I can sell. I have a great work ethic, and I am enthusiastic, but most importantly, I never ever give up. They used to call me Bulldog Byrne because once I got my teeth into it, I just never gave up. This is not saying that I have the gift of the gab or that I can sell ice to Eskimos, but rather that I have a system and I have a thick skin. Because in sales, it's a thankless job, and you're only as good as your last sale. In sales, every day you start at 0. I didn't quite know what I was going to sell, but I knew that I would find something. So the next day I got up and I walked up to our local printing shop and I made a deal with them. The deal was that I would sell their product and in turn get a 20% commission. They didn't have to pay me a salary, just the commission. So on that same day, I think it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, I started walking from Wynberg to Muizenberg, all the way to Muizenberg on the left-hand pavement and all the way back to Wynberg on the right-hand pavement, knocking on doors. I got kicked out of some. I had coffee at others. Generally, it was a good experience. I didn't even have a phone. So I had to stop to make calls from the tiki boxes along the road. I don't even know if they still have those things. It's antiquated this year. And that one day I picked up 15 quotes, which eventually ended up in 10 confirmed orders. And I was back in the game. Selling printing seemed so easy because everyone needs a business card. I walked the streets of every road in Pardon Island, Montague Gardens, Killarney Gardens, and Epping 1 and 2 to gather leads. This is how I built my database. And today I actually still make use of that database. By my second month, I was making more in commission selling printing than the salary that I was being paid before. One thing led to another, and I was being asked, can you print T-shirts? Can you do printing of pens? Can you? And I was like, where the hell are these people coming from? That stuff comes from China. I don't know where to get that stuff. But I said, yes, sure, I can do it. And made a couple of calls and found people that there was actually an industry called the promotional industry, and was able to supply these things. And one thing led to another. At that point, everything was being built through the printing company, but I decided to step away and open my own company, which was then called Byrne Promotions. Very original, I know, but Byrne Promotions, which grew very well and very quickly. I had clients like Spa and APSA, but then in 2009, all the BEE things were happening, and there was a bit of a financial crisis, and I had taken my eye off the ball as well because I was growing so nicely, and it all came crashing down. In 2009, divorced, and liquidated in 6 weeks. So no prolonged anything. It was just there today, gone tomorrow. At its worst, I ended up sleeping in my car for a while, being too proud and stubborn to ask for help. So I ended up doing odd jobs here and there and living in some back rooms of some places, dingy dives. It was tough, if I'm honest with you, very, very tough. But in this time, once I had allowed myself to stop being angry at the world and everything around me and acknowledge the fact that, firstly, I'm still alive and I'm still capable to do these things, that I'm blessed, and that if it was to be, it is up to me. No one else is really going to help me with anything because everyone's got their own life happening. So it's either up to me or no one's going to give me handouts. So I had to go hit the streets. In this time, I met my wife Tamsin, who is on the call today from a horse farm somewhere. Tamsin is a true inspiration and an angel that was sent to me by God. She really is a brilliant wife, friend, and partner, and I could ask for no better. While I was doing these odd jobs here and there, I worked for a language school in Cape Town, looking after foreign high school students while they were here in Cape Town. So after their school day ended, I would take them up Table Mountain, I would take them to Robben Island, I would take them to all these different places. It was probably the best job that I've ever had, and I got paid petrol money for it. But to live as a tourist in your own country or in your own town, to see what is actually there is very inspirational. I then was working in the film industry as a chaperone. A chaperone looks after the actors and the directors and I met some really amazing people. I had Denzel Washington was in my car, and I did have Mr. Virgin Atlantic in my car. So I have driven around some influential people. While I was doing this, I met a businessman from India who saw that I was more than what I portrayed myself to be. And he eventually became a business partner of mine in a publishing company. This was a very, very long story. And if I go there, then you probably wouldn't believe the story if I told it to you, what happened. But also, I will run out of time. So if you want to ask me about that, one-to-ones, coffee dates is all good. And then came unplugged brand exposure. This is what I can tell you. You never know what tomorrow can bring. So do your absolute best today. Give it 100%. Not 50%, not 80%, 100%. So tomorrow can take care of itself. If you put your 100% in today and 100% tomorrow and 100% next month, it has to happen. Whatever is happening in your life has to turn around and has to be better. So there's a lot more that I could say about this time of my life, but I always get emotional doing it. So I'm going to leave it there, and that's that for that part of my life. Right, let me see. Next slide. Hang on, I think I missed this one. All right, the story of finding a solution. Are you all still with me? Still awake? All right, all by thumbs up, all good, all good. All right, the story of a solution. In 2015, this is now 6 years later, I made the decision that enough was enough, and I had to pull myself towards myself. There I was, 46 years old, had nothing to show for my life, and had wasted almost 6 years floating from here to there and fighting with my own internal demons. The feelings of not being good enough, and that nothing was possible, and that the world was against me. I was 46, more than half of my life gone, and zero to show for it. Tamsin and I started Unplugged Brand Exposure, which is a corporate branding company. No capital, no clients, no suppliers. Today, we are the top 10% of promotional resellers in South Africa, and that is quite a feat out of 6,000 competitors. I had to go back to basics. What I knew that I could actually do, I had a system, I was Bulldog Byrne, and I could sell. Nothing in life happens without a sale being made. Nothing. You can go to Pick and Pay where somebody, somewhere, or some company has told you about Sunlight Liquid. That's a sale. You can go to a bar somewhere, somebody has told you about Castle Lager or Clipdrift and Coke. That's a sale. Somebody has made you buy that product. You want to go buy a new car, BMW, Mercedes, VW, all just cars, but somewhere there has been a sale and a recognition of the brand that has attracted you to it. And then there's the great salesperson who has told you the benefits of that car and closed the deal. Sold. That's a sale. So we had to start from the beginning, and that was the good old yellow pages. Anybody still got a copy of a yellow pages? I think it's about this thin now. So my old boss always used to say to me, sales cures all. Because with sales, you make money. With money, you pay your bills. Stresses, gone. So sales cures all. The more calls you make, the more emails you send, the more people you come in contact with, the more you will sell and the faster you will grow. So as an example, if you just make 10 calls a day for 22 working days of the month, that's 220 possible chances of a sale or product being sold. 220 times 12 months is 2,620 possible chances to sell your product or your service. Now, I'm not even going to add emails or LinkedIn or social media into this equation, but it's not rocket science. It's really the law of averages. If you put it all together and you put the effort in, the 100% effort into it, it has to succeed. Now, do you think, by show of thumbs, do you think that by doing this equation, you could make sales? Everyone, thumbs up? Okay. So like the famous Gary Player used to say, the more I practice, the luckier I get. But actually, that saying is not actually true because he was bloody good to start off with. So he just honed his skill. He knew what he could do. He wasn't the biggest or the strongest on the tour, but he just practiced and he kept on, and he was very, very successful. I'm still with you guys. You're all muted, so I can't hear you. All right. Why doesn't the old way work and why new? I don't necessarily agree that the old ways don't work, as there are many things that they can still be done the old way, but there are many things that don't work anymore. So as an example, I personally could walk the streets all day knocking on doors to get the information of the correct person that I need to speak to and do the introductions face to face. But nowadays, companies are behind gates, behind intercoms, behind security booms, and they won't let you in. So that is almost now a waste of time. So that kind of cold calling is now a thing of the past. That is taken away what I'm good at. I can walk the streets all day, knocking on doors, getting the information, but now can't do it. Even when you're able to get through these gates, you have a gatekeeper, the receptionist from hell, who will not put you through to that right person and will say that they're not available. Come back again or send an email. So that is also now a waste of time. And back in the day as a rep, I used to take clients to lunches and for drinks. and to other places that I can't mention on this forum, but clients love them, almost weekly. But now that's also not possible these days because people are so busy that they can't get out of the office. And it's also being seen as trying to buy that sale. So that is also now in the past. Let's start with the new way. So the new way. We are now in 2023, and times have most certainly changed. We've had COVID, ridiculous COVID. Things have changed even more, where people are even more on their own than what they were before. Now, just so many people working from home, no longer in clusters in an office block. They are alone. So things have changed. Many businesses have become less personal. They don't want to have interactions. Everything, if I just see how much emails and WhatsApp messages we do these days between our clients, they don't really want to pick up the phone and call or speak to you. Nobody has time to interact with you on a personal level. Now, we also have what I didn't have back in the day: websites, social media, LinkedIn. The hell is that stuff? I know zero about that. I have a daughter that does that for me, so I don't have to get involved in it. But it's not complicated, but I just don't do it. If these are used correctly, and it is all driven to your website, you will have an endless flow of quotes coming or of requests coming in. However, in saying this, I find that when working with leads and requests that come in from the internet, that there are many requests that are just phishing, and clients have so many options now on the internet that they will find something, they can find something that's cheaper than yours, the same widget for a different price, the same widget but a different color. The opportunities for them on the web, on the internet, are vast. So you really have to do something to stand out from the crowd. You can't just rely on your fantastic personality and beautiful blue eyes. It is now not up to that. It's now up to how you stand out from the crowd. Okay. They are more likely to find your product offering cheaper somewhere else. So something, as I said, you have to stand out from the crowd to keep them on your page, to make them send you that quote request so you can carry on from there. Clients that look for your services online are very seldom to build a relationship with you. They just want to find out, where can I get it? What's the price? In and out, done. We live in a world of instant gratification now. And if you don't get a response within like 5 minutes, they just click onto the next one because there's so many opportunities out there. What the internet has done, though, it's allowed you to present yourself, your company, and your brand in any way that you think fit. You can be a one-man band, and with a great website and social media presence, you can be seen as a huge corporate and compete with your largest competitor because the person searching cannot see what's happening behind the screen. You can set yourself as anybody that you want. It's like playing virtual reality, because they don't know if you've got 100 people working there or one person working there. So my solution, the sales system falls within the marketing mix, which is made up of 4 P's. This is the foundation of all business: the product, the price, the place, and the promotion. There are actually 7 P's if you include people, evidence, and process. From a sales perspective, we need to focus on 3 of those: people, promotion, and process. People. Who are your ideal customers? The ones that will bring in the bacon. You don't want the other ones. You want the ones that are going to buy from you and who you can service and that they're going to pay the bills. Promotion. Where will you see, where will they see you, and how do they get in front, how do you get in front of them? This could be face-to-face meetings, responses to emails, or standing out from the crowd by very competitive internet and social media platforms. And then the process. In sales, you have to have a process. It's not just willy-nilly, let's make a phone call. There's a process. The worst thing for a salesperson is to start their day not having a plan. You need to know, what are we going to do today and what must the outcome be? Plan it for the day, for the week, for the month. What is your intention with your sales? Us as salespeople, we are like ADD at the best of times, and we need to have a plan to work to. Otherwise, what's that cycle tour that's going on now? The Tour de France takes first seat. So then you need to know what your plan is, what we must achieve. This could be sales targets, the number of calls you want to do today, the number of contacts on LinkedIn you want to reach out to, there's many things that you need to do depending on what your goal is, what you have set yourself to do. It could be, I think I was talking to Robin the other day, and Robin was like, I only made one call, but it's one call that she didn't make before. And in her industry as well, we understand that you can't just phone somebody and say, hey, I'm going to take your stuff. So, but Robin makes that attempt every day. I think you're still doing it, Robin. Okay, so as I said earlier, nothing happens without a sale being done somewhere. So focus on the sale because, as I said earlier, sales solves all. Where do people make mistakes? Sales is an art, people. Some people, you become a professional salesperson. You don't decide today that I'm going to be a salesperson. It is something that you put effort into for a long time. So like some people become doctors and lawyers and others electricians. It's fine. You become a doctor and a lawyer and electrician, but you've got to put in the time to become a good doctor, lawyer, and electrician. We are salespeople, and that is our superpower. We are also human. We get distracted from that end goal. We get lazy. We take our eye off the ball, and we lose concentration. We also have personal challenges which is thrown in the mix that get in the way and cloud our vision. So here are 10 common mistakes that all salespeople make and how to avoid them. Number 1, not listening and talking too much. When trying to sell, we generally talk a lot, trying to describe the benefits and features of our great widget. And we push and we push and we push for the sale. The pushy people don't make good salespeople. Number 2, offering too much for nothing. This is a direct spin-off of talking too much. And when you offer too much for free, you become what? An unpaid consultant. Number 3, not focusing on the solution. This is the most important one of all 10 that I'm going to give you today. What is your solution to their problem? Because that is all the customer really wants. They're not cared about your cat and your dog and your parrot. They want to know how can you, sorry, Diane, I had to put that in there. They want to know, how can you solve their problem? Number 4, focusing on price rather than value. People buy value. People buy a solution. And if that solution works for them, the price will not really matter for the most point anyway. Price is obviously something you can't just go like, I can get it down the road for 10 bucks, but for you 100 Rand. It is, you got to be competitive, but price is not the be and end all of your sales process. Number 5, making promises that you can't keep. As a salesman, we've all done it. Yes, we can do it in 3 days. The chances are 0 of that happening, but you say it to close the deal. So rather under promise and over deliver. You will keep that client coming back every time if you deliver, if you over promise and if you under promise and over deliver. Number 6, not having an intention to make the sale. You'll be very surprised at how many salespeople actually their focus is not to make the sale. Their focus is on having a kick-ass sales pitch and having a killer slideshow. To make the sale is not what they are. That's not the most important thing to them. So rather actually focus on how you're going to get to closing the sale. How are you going to get that order in? Number 7, not being ready to overcome objections. Now, know your trade, know your product, know the offering better than anybody else, so that when you get that question that you haven't received in the last 5 years, you know what the answer is to that question. Be the GOAT of your industry. Be the Lionel Messi of your industry. Be the one that is spoken about to, if you want a container home, there is no one better than Dion. You go there. If you want the best lawyer, I know there's a lot of lawyers on here, so I shouldn't pick one out. But I know Robin well. So if you want a lawyer, go to Robin. She's the GOAT of her industry. Number 8, arguing with a potential customer. We all know that this is a no-no, and it's obvious that you shouldn't argue with a customer. But believe me, some salespeople are very windgat, and they believe that their system is correct and that their product is the best. And they will argue the point, not really knowing what the customer wants at the end of the day. Number 9, not doing your homework. If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. If you are going for that big deal with Old Mutual, whoever it may be, you need to know you need to know that person. You need to try and find them on LinkedIn, stalk them on Facebook, see what they do. Do they do fishing? How many children do they have? You need to know that you can have those opening questions to them. And then 10, not getting access to the correct decision maker. You cannot sell to just anybody. There's no point in selling to the sales manager because he thinks he's the most important person in the company, when you actually need to be talking to the CFO or the CEO or somebody else. Don't waste your time on those people who think that they need to know. Find out who the correct person is. This is no secret. We all do it. So instead of rushing in, you are a professional. You are a professional at this, and you know what you're doing. So take your time, focus on the outcome, breathe, pick up the phone, and make the call. And then, what is the first thing that I want you all to do when you leave here? Firstly, breathe. I'm sure that I've given you a lot of information to think about here. Well, I hope I have anyway. Number 2, commit to following either my process or your process. It makes no difference to me, as long as you follow a process that is measurable and that is in place, so that you can check it. If it can't be measured, it didn't happen. Make this commitment for 90 days. If you don't see a marked difference in your sales or in the growth of your company, relook at it, because I can guarantee you, putting the effort in for 90 days, you will see a marked change. It takes time and it takes work in this progress, but you will win. Remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. That's me. My name is William Byrne. There's my contact info. There's my smiley face. And thank you for your time. I hope I made some sense. I really appreciate you all listening. Very much. Thank you so much.
Well done, William. That was phenomenal. And everybody's clapping for you there. So they can switch their mics on if they want to make a noise. But you did amazingly well. Well done. And you know what? When people start hearing story behind the success, I think you have a book there, from living in your car to 3 company CEO success story. I think we're going to have to start thinking about
one thing at a time, Diane. One thing at a time.
Well done.
Yeah, guys, I'm happy to answer any questions if you have. Let's see.
Right.
Or if anybody wants to add in something, it's also great.
Okay, I don't have a question, obviously, because I live with you, so I'm lucky like that. But I am going to have to leave the Zoom because my battery on my phone is going to die. But what I do want to say is I am incredibly proud of you. So you did remarkably well on this. I know it was totally out of your comfort zone, but very, very proud of you.
Nice, Tamsin.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much.
Well done.
I've got something to say. So I attended Diane's Strat Lab for Q3 with William. He was one of the attendees with me, and he told me about his system, and I was like, never going to work. And I started phoning. I must be honest, William, I've been doing a lot of email as well, because sometimes my courage fails me and I don't get to the calls as much. But I've seen such a difference in my business. And it's difficult as lawyers, Byrne, you'll know as well, like it's difficult for us to sell. We've got all these, we think we can't, we think we're not allowed. I've done all this research into touting and what we can and can't do as lawyers. And thanks to William, like I'll message him and I'll say, oh, you know, I only sent out 3 emails and phoned 1 person, and he's been so encouraging. So I really, really recommend following the old school, picking up the phone, sending emails. Like it's made a tangible difference in my business.
Thanks for saying that, Robin, because William, I'm still struggling to buy into the sales idea for our very archaic professional side. I must get my mind around it. All my hopes are on Shantae because she's younger.
No, sales is as I said there, it's a thankless game. And I mean, it's not even about personality, because if I look at, I can be quite loud and obnoxious and all that most of the time. But when I look at somebody like Tamsin, you all know Tamsin, I think. Most of you know Tamsin. And we look at sales from a very different point of view. And I'm a killer. I've got a spear, and I go. I mean, what do they say about the caveman? You go and you spear it, you eat it, and then you go to the next one. Where Tamsin is, you know, when she meets with clients, they don't even talk about work. So it's not. She's got a way more softer approach. Mine is a bit harder, but I've had to learn that you got to be nice sometimes. You got to play nice and get to know the people. So the sales, you know, but that all happens after you've made that call. But the call doesn't have to be a telephone call. That's just a premise to what I'm saying. The call is to reach out to as many people as possible. Like Robin's doing, you know, we've got LinkedIn today, and we're all looking for, if we're looking for those top contacts, they're all on there. So, you know, building that relationship with them there, but it's got to be a continuous thing. It can't be a reach out today and then like never speak to them again. So it's building the relationship with the person, however you can do it. I mean, if you've got clients in London, you can't go and have a cup of coffee with them. So, you know, you got to build the relationship. Mine of choice is telephone. I can be on the telephone all day. I don't care if they put the phone down. I just call the next one. And so the busier you get and the more the system starts to work, the less and less and less you'll find yourself actually doing it. But then you've got to get somebody to do it for you to keep the cycle going, because you can't be busy and also doing that. But you've got to start, even if it is emails, Robin.
Awesome. Anybody else with any other questions for William? Have you all got your sales pipeline sorted? You're making enough calls, you're bringing in the right number of sales, you're all just so super successful. Yes, no.
The phone, guys, the phone is the most terrifying thing. It's like standing up in public and doing a talk. Picking up that phone and you going already, I'm not going to get through to the right person. They're going to put the phone down on me. And that does happen. I have physically, by my scuff of my neck, been thrown out of a building. Not out of the top of the building, but out of the doors at the bottom, because I was knocking on doors inside like BP Center, which wasn't allowed. But hey, while I was there, make hay while the sun shines. And but it is terrifying. But very often they're not going to put you through to that right person, but they will give you their email address quite freely, and then send them an email. This is what we do. I'm going to call you again on Tuesday. Please let me know if we can chat. And then they are expecting your call. So it's easier then, because then you can phone. Now you've already got a relationship. They're expecting your call. Or they can say, I can't speak on Tuesday, phone me on Thursday. Or bugger off, I'm not interested. Whichever they can tell you.
That's funny. But it's consistency. So if you're listening to what
consistent.
is saying, it's all about consistency. Every morning or every afternoon, depending when your energy levels are high, you take that hour and you make those calls, send those emails, go for coffee.
Correct.
But it is right.
Correct.
So consistency is the most.
I must just say, I see Afsana Khan on the call here. And when we started Unplugged, Afsana was our first order. I don't know if she remembers that.
That's amazing. And I still have the products. It was the screen cleaners.
Yeah, that was like 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah.
And I'm about to put a big order with you again. So I'll contact you this week.
Lovely. Excellent. Conrad, I see you had your hand up.
Yeah. A product, more like a product presentation. Our products that we can sell into the market as like a standard thing into hotels and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out in my head myself how to do a product presentation that I can mail to a customer, stuff like that. But I just can't see. It's very foggy. I cannot see. I don't have a product listing where people can go on and, on the website they go on, but it's stuff that I took off that we can make. I don't know. My product listing just doesn't feel right. How would you say, should I approach that? Like mail shots, sending it, say, to hotels. Listen, this is what I can offer you. How do I realize their needs to send them the right product as a mail shot?
If you're sending a mail shot to 1,000 different people, every one of those 1,000 different people are going to want something else. So what I would do if I were you, the same as what we do. Although our end thing is providing you with promotional products and corporate wear, but that is not actually what we do. We provide a service of getting that to you, because again, you can send out 10,000 emails of a golf shirt, but 5,000 of those people they don't need golf shirts, they need pens. So you can't, unless you go and, like, for me, I go, like, if I want to supply air conditioning companies, they're seldom going to want a product giveaway, but all their staff need clothing and overalls and jackets and peak caps and beanies. So that's what I would focus on there. But if you don't have them categorized into different modules like that, then it could just be blind emails. But so position yourself more as a service provider than a product seller, because your email can now go, the service that we offer is that we brand you by using these kind of products, not that product. We don't do Perspex wall frames. That is not the one product that we do. But by building things around Perspex, I don't exactly know what the products are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
be more of a service provider than a product pusher, because you don't know who you're going to come across. And if you look back on your records and you see, actually, like 80% of our business comes from hotels, pump hotels. If business comes from car dealerships, hit the car dealerships. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. So you know that you've sold that product to a hotel. We've got 20,000 hotels in Cape Town. Somebody else must need it.
Yeah.
So just
And I
focus
think
on that. One thing at a time.
Our industry is so, well, my products are so customizable. It's a custom made to their needs thing. That's why I think I can't I can't send them one product or 10 products and hope for the best. I must sell, like you say, the service I must sell the service that I can make anything to their needs, custom make to whatever company they are.
Oh, so if you want to send to hotels an example, because your stuff is all customized, you're going to say, this is what we do. This is the name of the company, blah, 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 blah. We have done these kind of things for these hotels. Would you have interest in something like this? Or we can custom make bespoke to what you are looking for.
Conrad, the other way of doing it is also doing an infographics where you do step by step of what your process is. And each step, you give an example of what it could be for them. So you showing them what the process is and allowing them to determine what it is by giving examples like William said. So don't forget, infographics at the moment is a very big thing for everybody. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, because people not reading. First of all, we've gone into an era of becoming more and more lazy on reading, but everybody wants pictures. So if you can show them the process, it makes it easier that way.
So process from the need they've got, and next to where we discuss it, and
what
then
your process
the development, the drawings,
exactly,
the final product.
Exactly that, because that's the service that William's talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And thanks, William. Yeah, just kudos to Tamsin and William. I've met them through BNI, but they are very soulful people. They care about other people, not just about business. Thank you very much.
Right, everybody, we've got about 10 minutes to go. Is there any further questions, comments? William is here. Then when he leaves, you start paying him. So
William, sorry, this may be
Invoice in the post.
It may be off topic, but who did this photograph of you? It's really, really good.
Just my photograph?
On screen.
Yeah, it's only because I'm so good looking that looks so good.
Of course. But
what's that guy's name in your chapter, Diane? Dylan. Dylan photography. Dylan LaRue.
Yes, I've met him.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, he came to our showroom and took some pictures of us and of the showroom and of products for our social media pages. And yeah, he really did a good job. And he was like, I almost felt guilty paying him because it was so little. But I can't say, look, only once I paid him did I tell him he's going to increase his prices. I mean, he was there for the whole day. He took 1 million pictures and he only charged like $3,000.
Sure. Yeah, that's good.
I don't know if it was an inside deal or something, but it was really, I mean, I thought I was going to pay like 6, 7, but it was cheap.
Yeah, no, that's a good price.
And
I think it captures everything. This specific photograph captures everything. And it does make you look good, William.
Well, the Photoshop does help.
I must do that soon.
You knew how to hide my other 3 chins.
Right. Anybody else with any questions for William?
I have something to share. I recently went through a sales exercise where I hired a outsourcing company where they did the cold calling for us. And it's 3 months now. We actually canceled the contract now just because it's not sustainable. I thought it would break even at least. I was happy with just breaking even. But what I liked about this exercise, first, like sales is not, I'm a SEO person. Our business comes through Google rankings. So yesterday we had so many inquiries just because our website is ranked well. And people just phone me up. Oh, I Googled this and I got your number. That's it. So that's I'm very much inbound marketing focused. So I moved out. I did this cold calling thing with these people. And what was quite nice, we developed a hit list. So I call it my wish list. So the hit list of companies, they will target industries. And then within that, they find the companies for each industry and weight them. And also to know how big a company you want. So when we started the exercise, I was targeting full on corporates, groups, like your groups that own other groups, that kind of big businesses. And it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. I have a few successful clients, but they found me who are groups. So I thought that would apply. And then eventually we changed the strategy over and over, every month. And then we found a sweet spot of small companies who are still growing. So I always said my target is people who are in growth phase. So it's not your startups. So once we started targeting companies that had less than 10 employees, we started seeing a high interest, I think, because they don't have dedicated departments that's doing what I'm doing. It was just a very interesting exercise. And then I also got the recordings of the cold calling, which I'm still a bit against, but I understand the point of it. Because I'm listening to these recordings and you can hear, and it's probably the sound of my voice when a telesalesperson phones me with, why are you calling me? You're wasting my time. And you just want to get off it. And you can hear that irritation. I just want to share that. You can add in comments there of it. How do you deal with that when someone sounds irritated?
Yeah, look, if you make 10 phone calls, you're going to get 8 of those. Because not everyone needs your service, number one. They haven't asked for your service, so why are you phoning me? I don't need it, bugger off, I've got something else to do. But you're going to get 2 that are going to say, listen, yeah, we, the last time we, like in my business, yeah, we haven't ordered for a while. We, now that it's winter time and it's cold, we're going to get some more jackets. So send us a link to whatever you can send to what you offer. It's just a numbers game. You know, you're gonna and to get over those 8 calls where they've already told you that they're not interested, they've put the phone down, they've shouted at you. You've just got to let it roll off your back. And not everyone is born to be that kind of sales guy, where you can just. But when you are put with your back to the wall and you have no other option, you either make it or you don't make it. And I fortunately come from hard sales. When I was working at Rothschild's in London, did I say that? I think I left out a section. I was working for Rothschild's in London, selling to the top 1% earners in the world, and there, that is hardcore. You make 100 phone calls a day, and you get sworn at. And Americans are the worst to deal with on the phone. But you've just got to make the calls, because you're going to get one. And then Afsana, what you said is very true, that everyone wants discovery, everyone wants Sanlam, everyone wants those big companies. But sometimes it's more hassle than what you need, and you can get the same from a smaller company. You know, I don't go for big companies at all. The red tape that you've got to jump through hoops to get all these things, and then you've got to fill in 100,000 BE documents, and they want all your, what did you have for breakfast and how much milk did you put into it? You know, I don't have time for that. I'll go for where the low hanging fruit is, and make that count.
Yeah, I think you mentioned relationship building, that we can't pay people to Mavericks anymore. So I believe in relationship building. I didn't say
Mavericks. I might have alluded to it, but I didn't say that.
Yeah, we all know subtext.
The heck?
You know, the
contact them.
But
people
it
that I
is
was dealing with in the
relationship
motoring
building.
industry,
It's
every Friday
the
they wanted to go to teasers or something.
yeah, and it works. And I think that I strongly believe in the Carnegie principles of nurturing those relationships and existing relationships. So as business owners, I find it very difficult to make those sales calls because I, like everyone else, will get offended because you don't think my business or products is as amazing as I think it is. The same
Correct.
emotions came up when I was selling my house and people started judging my house. I was like, but I thought it was
Yeah,
perfect. I
yeah.
didn't know I lived in a dump all of a sudden. So we take offense.
Yeah. Why is the
I
fireplace
don't
there?
think I
It
have
should
a
have been
thick
over
skin
there.
for that. Okay.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that you don't necessarily have to do it. If you've got somebody that can do it, if you outsource it to somebody that you can measure, you know, I mean, my salespeople, I say to them, when I was a young salesperson, I didn't want to have bloody sales meetings on a Friday and present how many calls I made and how many cold knocks on doors I did and how far I drove in the car. I hated it. But I see now that if it's not measurable, then it doesn't happen. I mean, when I speak to my sales guys and they say, a busy week, or no sales this week, show me your calls. How many did you do? Because I can tell you as sure as God made little green apples, that the little less calls you made, the less chance you have of making a sale. And it's also not about the sale being happening now. If you're planting that seed now and you're sending out that email of introduction now, I mean, I got an order this week from somebody that got an email in February 2021. It was like, you only need it now. Of course, the prices have gone up for that product, but it's 2 years ago.
That's amazing. I'm going to put in chat the sales company I used who did measure it amazingly. I love their process. If anyone is interested in it, they can check it out.
Thanks.
Yeah, please do.
Fantastic. William, we really do appreciate all your knowledge, wisdom, and guidance that you've given everybody here for their sales and for sharing your story with us, even though you missed out a whole section, it doesn't matter. But it was really nice to hear, and also putting it down really reminds us of where we come from and where we're going to and what it is that we're wanting to build. So please remember that, everybody. Yeah. When you put together your story, everybody wants to hear your story. Your clients want to hear your story. So how do you put it together and how do they get to hear it? And what do you want to share? You don't have to share everything. So it was amazing as always. We are almost finished with our hour. Thank you, William. Thank you, everybody else, for jumping on. And we look forward to seeing you in the future. Go out and be fabulous, and see you next time. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, William.
Nice, William. Well done. You see, not so bad after all.
Was that okay?
That was excellent. Well done. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Nice one.
Right,
Nice.
let's get
Go
the day
out and make
started.
your sales. Yes. Goodbye. See you soon.